In this episode, we talk about bags of cash. This is Aidan Rees-Heron, and you're watching Property Geek TV, episode 32. Very, very exciting times. Very, very exciting. So, shall I rattle it off? I'll rattle off what we're doing. So, we're looking at a couple of small, medium, looking at a few developments, medium. Commercial developments for like fast food chains and shops and things. I've had some very, very exciting conversations today about some solar investments and a portfolio of those. We had our second training day on yesterday. That went really well. You know, things are moving quite quickly and feel slightly out of control, but that's when you know you're going in the right direction. When you're bored, you're going too slow. But, you know, we need more questions. I'm really excited about getting this show back on the road, and got some exciting plans for a live podcast coming out soon. I've been having really good feedback from that, from the people that on my email, on my VIP list. And so, really, really excited. You know, everything is moving forwards quite quickly. The agency is starting to expand. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very busy second half of the year, and it was a very busy first half of the year. But, you know, quite enjoy it. So, make sure you send your questions in. Next week, I think I'm planning on doing a Facebook Live show. If anyone is interested in that, please comment below and let me know. And let's get on with the show. Josh, you want to pick a question?
I'll pick a question.
Josh's hand is back. Josh, read the question into the microphone and Leo can overlay it.
Okay, tenants in common or joint tenants?
This is to do with whether you own the property as a pair, or whether you each own 50% of a house. So, like when you go and buy a building or property or an investment, okay, and you've got you do it with a partner. You know, it's definitely one of the best ways to invest in property, okay? Because who's got all the money lying around? Usually not the person that's buying them. You will reach a glass ceiling eventually, even if you've got really big pockets. I have news for you. You are going to reach a glass ceiling where you literally cannot buy another house for a little while. But if you want to keep growing your portfolio and growing your income, then you have to go out and buy some more. The best way to do that is with a partner. But you encounter this issue, especially if you're not investing in a limited company structure. Let that mic go past. We're getting a microphone soon, so you won't hear that anymore. If you're investing in a joint venture structure but not as a limited company, then there can be the issue about, okay, do we own all of it? Like, you know, like if me and Josh buy, Leo, you get it? Me and Josh? Maybe you just find like a really old picture of Josh and just like put it up on the screen, because Josh refused to be on the episode.
I didn't refuse.
He did refuse to be. If me and Josh go and buy a house together, and we see the house, we can either buy it together, so we buy this house together and we own the whole thing together. So if Josh dies, I'm gonna punch you away. Right? If Josh dies, then I have 100% of the house. Make sense? But the other alternative is that we can buy it as two individuals, so we each get half of a house each, right? And then that means if Josh dies or I die, the other person doesn't get the other share of the house. That's how it works. It goes on to that person's estate. Now, you know, I think this would have been a different. I would have been more interested in this question if it had been before the changes to the tax laws. But now it makes sense to invest in a limited company, and if you're going to invest in a limited company, unless they're lending you money, if you're doing it as a joint venture, just set up a company for that person and give them that amount of shares or 50% of the shares, and it just keeps everything nice and settled. Because even if you get on with them, even if you're friends now, even if you get on in the future, something might happen where, you know, stuff can go wrong. So just limit those downsides. Put a clear like line in the ground so that you know that, you know, if one of you dies or something, it goes onto your estate. It just keeps everything clean. And that's definitely the way to go at the moment, is just keep things clean. But investing in a limited company structure is certainly more tax efficient. I think that's everything. I don't even think I answered the question. Personal preference, whichever you want. But for me, keep the line in the ground, keep it separate, and it will just prevent any issues or arguments occurring. Feel good. How was that?
Sweet.
That was quite quick. Respecta! Next question. Here you go, Josh.
Buy my own place or rent?
Oh no, that makes sense. So if you've got some money, right, should you buy your own place to live there? This is what I'm assuming you're asking, right? If you've got a bit of money, should you buy your own place to live in, or should you just rent somewhere? What would you do?
I would buy my own place and not live there.
Touche. I think they're talking about where you live. Would you buy where you're living, or would you rent where you're living? It's an interesting discussion I've had with a couple of people now.
I'd probably buy where I'm living.
Why?
Because if I moved on, then I can always rent it out later on.
Yeah, but okay, if you're going to buy like a reasonable sized house to live in to be comfortable, then the cash flow you can generate from it, unless it's convertible into flats or a HMO, then the profit curve, the cash flow curve, as the house gets bigger, the cash flow you get gets smaller.
Yeah.
So big house, little cash flow. Little house, big cash flow. So like maybe bags of money above the little house, and like a little bag of money above the big house. So big house, little bag. Little house, big bag.
What would you do?
I would rent. Just invest your own capital, or your friend's capital, or your family's capital, or the capital that you've got into assets, and then live on a cash flow basis. That's what I do. So, you know, like why do you want to buy that house?
It's more of a personal want just to own.
It's like it's my thing, it's my thing, it's mine, right? But everyone's becoming like, it's just me, I guess. I'm just mobile. The flexibility of renting means that you're not tied in long term to that house. Okay, yeah, it gives you a little bit of security if you own it. And I'm probably going to be really controversial by saying all of this, because I would buy property and develop it and stuff, and we're saying, oh no, you should just rent your own place. But it's simply because, you know, like if you live there, you can probably strike up a deal with the landlord where, you know, you can do some minor works and renovations to the unit, and make it feel like home. Because that's the other thing. Sometimes people say, you know, when you're renting, it just feels like you're renting. It doesn't feel like home. But if you can renovate it and make it a little bit your own, do some decorating, feels like home. You're not paying that much more than if you had a mortgage. But if the boiler breaks, you don't have to pay to fix the boiler. If subsidence starts, you don't have to pay to get subsidence fixed. If the roof breaks, you don't have to pay to get the roof fixed. And if you decide, oh, you know what, next year I'd like to live in London, or I'd like to live in Spain, or whatever it is. Bye. Then you can just move, and it's straightforward that way. So for me, I would probably rent. What time are we on?
About 10 minutes.
Should we cut it? Okay. Question of the day. Would you rent, or would you buy your own place? And why?